On the morning of February 2026, the United States launched Operation Epic Fury against Iran. In the opening hours of the campaign, American Tomahawk cruise missiles struck the Shajareh Tayyebeh primary school in the southern Hormozgan province. The strike occurred during the morning instructional session. It leveled the western half of the building and killed roughly 175 individuals. The overwhelming majority of the victims were civilian schoolgirls between the ages of 7 and 12. Following the massacre, lawmakers and media outlets demanded an investigation. But instead of focusing on the military chain of command, the public discourse fixated on the system's decision support software, a large language model named Claude. Debates immediately consumed the news cycle over whether the AI had gone rogue or consciously chosen to target children. These language models possess a conversational fluency that often tricks human psychology into attributing intent and understanding to what are essentially statistical probability matrices. In the wake of the bombing, the media engaged in intense debate over the chatbot's personality, treating a word prediction sequence as if it possessed the volition to choose its targets. Congress and the media spent weeks investigating how the software managed to bypass its ethical guardrails. This intense focus on the software's supposed morality directed scrutiny away from the technical and bureaucratic mechanisms of the Department of Defense. A chatbot did not kill those children. A human bureaucracy engineered an infrastructure optimized for lethal speed, and the fixation on a conversational AI interface effectively obscured the systemic failure of the war machine. To understand the failure in Iran, we have to look back to late 2025. Under Secretary Pete Hegseth, the defense apparatus underwent an institutional rebranding, officially adopting the title Department of War. Hegseth mandated a pursuit of unconstrained lethality, explicitly dismantling traditional defensive caution. Through monthly Pentagon worship services, leadership instructed commanders that the ultimate trajectory of a missile was a matter of divine sovereignty, shifting the moral weight of kinetic strikes from human calculation to providence. This timeline illustrates the physical scaling of modern targeting. During the 2003 Iraq invasion, roughly 2,000 targeteers worked for months to verify strike coordinates. By 2026, the military had adopted Palantir's Project Maven, an AI software architecture built to compress that entire human kill chain into an automated digital pipeline. By 2024, Maven's stated operational benchmark was processing 1,000 targeting decisions in a single hour. That math dictates that the system generates a firing solution every 3.6 seconds. For the human targeteers managing the output, they were required to review, validate, and authorize a lethal strike once every 72 seconds. In software engineering, any delay in a process is categorized as friction, and friction is treated as a design flaw. But in the context of lethal warfare, friction is a vital safety mechanism. It is the temporal space required for a human analyst to look at a satellite feed and notice a playground next to a military base. By successfully engineering away all operational friction, the military mathematically eliminated the time required to exercise moral judgment. This brings us to the specific administrative error that caused the Minab tragedy. The target package for the school was generated from a Defense Intelligence Agency database that listed the coordinates as an active Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps compound. The problem was, that entry was a decade out of date. Looking at this top-down map of the area, you can see that the building adjacent to the military facility had been physically separated and repurposed into a primary school years earlier. This structural change was entirely visible on commercial satellite imagery, but the database was never updated. When human operators are fatigued and operating under strict time constraints, they experience automation bias. This is a documented psychological tendency to place unquestioning trust in a machine's recommendation. With only 72 seconds to review each target, an operator cannot independently verify satellite imagery or cross-reference intelligence databases. The system's speed reduces the human role to a procedural rubber stamp, approving strikes based on data they have no time to question. The creators of the AI layer assisting this process actively tried to prevent it. Anthropic engaged in a prolonged legal and ethical dispute with the government, attempting to prohibit their model from being used for violent military ends. This feud escalated until President Trump issued an executive order banning the use of Claude hours before the invasion began. The military, however, continued to use the software throughout the opening weekend of strikes anyway. Claude existed as a fundamental component of Palantir's proprietary targeting architecture. Extracting the model immediately prior to a theater-wide operation would have triggered a total collapse of the military's targeting pipeline. Corporate terms of service and executive mandates both failed because the technology was already hardwired into the administrative plumbing of the war machine. When hyper-fast automation meets legacy human bureaucracy, it creates a systemic gap where moral and legal responsibility evaporate. The speed of the process ensures that no individual possesses enough agency to be held personally responsible for a disaster. This flowchart maps the resulting circle of deniability. The military claims a technical error based on old data. The intelligence agency blames the automated tech's speed, and the tech developer points out that a human operator authorized the strike. It closes the loop perfectly. In 1962, sociologist Jacques Ellul theorized that society utilizes mass communication to resolve the cognitive friction of terrible events. Focusing on a rogue AI's personality allows a society to resolve the discomfort of a high-tech massacre by providing a recognizable, non-human villain. This fixation keeps the public distracted from the technical reality. It prevents a confrontation with a defense architecture that values metrics, sorties generated, and speed over methodical verification. In the age of algorithmic warfare, deleting operational friction guarantees civilian casualties. The machine operates exactly as engineered, matching bad data to high explosives, while hiding the human architects behind the quiet hum of a server rack.